bruised, beloved Nets taken from us before they actually are able to accomplish anything. If I may, I apologize. You guys are laughing. It is a somber occasion. Can we just pour one out for the Brooklyn Nets? I think they deserve it. I mean, listen, guys, it's the biggest flop in NBA history.
This morning, Kevin Durant shocked the world, announcing that he was going to stay put and deal with Sean Marks and all other issues he had in Brooklyn and run it back with Kyrie Irving and the Nets for another season. This, of course, prompts the question, are the Nets the 2023 title favorites? I already made a video that should be popping up on the screen right now talking about the Clippers, discussing why I think they would be my title favorites out of the West. But honestly, the Nets have my vote coming out of the East. I know that can come off as shocking or as kind of a bandwagon quote-unquote take, but just hear me out. Even as I watched one of my favorite players and Kyrie Irving get swept off the floor by the Boston Celtics in last year's playoffs, I felt like this wasn't going to be the end of Brooklyn and the Nets. I know I'm not the first to tell you that the Nets' last season was nothing shy of unorthodox, with trades, rumors, general management issues, vaccination issues, team issues, player health issues, and even beefs on and off the court. The Nets were one more incident away from being called a circus. I mean, to most of the mainstream media, they were referred to as a circus or jokers or flops or failures. If you guys watched my last video, you know I'm a bit more optimistic and patient when it comes to players or teams, and the Nets really, really do embody that. Everyone is hating on Kyrie Irving and his quote-unquote off-court antics, but those who are doing so are just viewing him strictly as a basketball player and not as a person or a human being. This man is by far one of the most talented ball handlers of all time, probably is the most talented ball handler of all time, and people will still go out of their way to disrespect him. Let's just let that sink in. To me, the slander Kai and the Nets receive is just so unwarranted. The world has had a crazy couple of years, and so is basketball. Before we get into the Nets roster, let's briefly look at the success the Nets had previously had before moving on from James Harden. They were only 13-3, playing in only 16 total games, seeing the floor together with all three of them, and I know you all remember how close they were to making the finals. This last year, they had holes in their roster that needed to be urgently filled, and with Ben Simmons battling injury and other mental health issues, it caused even more of a dilemma. But now, that's behind us. I'd assume the starting five next year looks something like this. Kyrie at the 1, Seth Curry at the 2, TJ Warren at the 3, KD at the 4, and then either Ben Simmons or Nick Claxton at the 5. It just really depends on if they want to start Ben at the 4 and then put KD at the 3 and then have TJ Warren come off the bench. In my eyes, that's probably the smartest lineup, but they just have so many different choices and decisions to go through. I mean, they're going to be playing tons of different starting fives throughout this whole season, whether Steve Nash is the head coach or not. I'm just really eager to see how they handle it. The new additions they've made, bringing in TJ Warren and Royce O'Neal, are great for helping their depth. They already had guys like Patty Mills and LaMarcus Aldridge, Joe Harris, and Blake Griffin to just cycle through and give minutes to, disperse it and try to keep guys healthy. Those are 4 veterans that just kind of all know their role. I know Joe Harris may be less a veteran, but more of like someone who knows their role. He's just a sharp. He's always moving off the ball. He was battling some injury last year, so I know they're excited to have him back. I'm sure they're also hoping for Cam Thomas to take a big step this year as well. I'd try to keep him and Kevin in the lab as much as possible. This team, in my opinion, is leagues better than the Nets we saw last year. Not only do they get deeper on the wings with TJ Warren and Royce O'Neal, but I truthfully think that Ben Simmons will shock a lot of people this year. I think he's made it to a point in his career where people have hated on him for so long that there's almost no expectation for him to perform. Honestly, it's not only this, but also being paired up with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. There's only so much people can expect from him as far as offensive output on the stat sheet, because you know that Kyrie and Kevin are going to get their 20 to 30 points a game. I mean, people tend to forget before his injury, he was second, and let's be honest, should have and could have been first in the Defensive Player of the Year voting. I think he'll fit perfectly alongside Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets as far as being the defensive anchor. He'll do a great job of rim running and facilitating, something that they've also desperately have needed whenever Kyrie and Kevin are off the floor. It's going to be exciting to watch Brooklyn basketball this year, man. The highs and the lows of it. They're going to have to try, like I said, so many different things out in the first couple games, and they're going to have plenty of time to as well. I advise you guys to just be patient and remember that in 20 years from now, no one will remember if they sucked the first 35 games of the regular season, but they will definitely remember if they were the 5 seed who went on to win the finals. My prediction for the Nets this year is that they win around or a little above 50 games and make the finals. I'm going to be a little bold with it. I mean, I would be a little disappointed, I guess, if they didn't, because this roster is just so talented. And I know that Miami and Milwaukee and Boston are going to be competitive next year, but I'm just going to have to see how healthy I am before I can say who I think would win before the Clippers or between the Clippers and the Nets. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. If you guys enjoyed this style of content where it's kind of like a news pops up and I make a quick little short video reacting to it and giving my opinion, just let me know what you guys think in the comments below. The support recently has been unreal. I'm coming at you guys with another video tomorrow, so don't worry. Thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. I really do appreciate the support. It's been overwhelmingly amazing. If you guys have any other opinions and takes, sorry, my cat's making some noise. If you guys have any opinions or takes, please leave them down below in the comments and let me know where you guys think the Nets end up on the standings and how far they're going in the playoffs this year. If you think they're going to go to the finals, comment that as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace.